Sacco and Felice, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFelice.com. SACCOFILLAS.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And you don't have to be a sports fan, but even the politicians are talking about the NBA Finals, wearing jerseys and so on. The game just a short time ago, it was a nail-biter, but the Knicks steal Game 1 in San Antonio. This was part of a watch party inside MSG in New York as they watched the game being played in San Antonio. And you can hear the excitement. That's when the star of the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, made a shot. And he had a great game, and we'll have more on that a bit later. But on the political front, President Trump making fun of New York's socialist mayor, saying it's easy to promise people free things knowing that you can't deliver. Trump stating that if he decided to do that himself, that he could be the very best at promising free things, knowing that he could never deliver. We'll deal with that. But something that's very interesting, and it makes me scratch my head as to what Congress is doing and say, because Secretary of State Marco Rubio is correct. He has warned lawmakers that Iran would be less willing to reach an agreement with the Trump administration or reopen the strait or end its nuclear ambitions if a resolution were to pass. And that's exactly what has happened. The House has defied President Trump and passed a war powers resolution to stop military action against Iran, and the plot even thickens. 4 GOP elected officials ended up voting with Democrats on this. So Wednesday's vote marks the fourth time the House has tried to stop the U.S. war against Iran. And for the first time, the House was able to pass this measure. 4 House Republicans voting with Democrats to pass this. President Trump, by the way, and his administration, they say it's unconstitutional, so it's probably headed to court one way or the other. But the measure cleared the House in a 215 to 208 vote. And this is about, 2 weeks after Speaker Mike Johnson pulled a planned vote on the resolution after it appeared Republicans would not be able to defeat it. So Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky, Republican, Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick, Republican of Pennsylvania, Tom Barrett, Republican of Michigan, and Warren Davison, Republican of Ohio, joined every Democrat in backing the measure to end the 3-month-long war. And ironically, Congressman Gregory Meeks of Queens, New York, is the one Democrat that put this measure in play. And so we'll see what this means in the days ahead. But if you're Iran, it's almost like, not almost like, Congress wants to see this president fail. He's trying to do something to protect Americans, and you want to undercut him and backdoor him with a war powers resolution, which would tie his hands. And if you're Iran, all you've got to do is play beat the clock until this passes. So we'll see what happens. 800-848-9222. Okay, let's get to some of the news at hand. And that is President Trump making fun of New York's socialist mayor, Mamdani. President Trump says basically any fool can promise free, 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 knowing that they're not going to be able to deliver.
So easy, I'd be the greatest in the world. Nobody would be as good as me. I'd get away everything. I could be the greatest. I would sell them. You're going to get free rent. You're going to get free houses. You're going to get free food. You're going to get free everything. But eventually that ends. And it leads to death, destruction, and squalor 100% of the time. When I watch New York, and, I liked him very much. He stood right here, and he's been in the office a couple of times. The mayor of New York, I think he's a very nice person, and I don't know, he's a smart guy. I don't understand why he thinks it's okay for all these companies that pay hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes a year to leave. Because you're not going to have any tax base, and you're going to end up in hunger and squalor and death and destruction. I would be better than him if I wanted to go that route.
Again, the president of the United States mocking New York's socialist mayor that any fool, the president didn't use the word fool, but any fool can promise free, 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 knowing that they can't deliver. The president was not in a good mood as it relates to CNN and Caitlin Collins going off on her twice. You'll hear each occurrence. Here, the president was asked about this fund that he's tried to establish for those that have been badly impacted by January 6th. And Caitlin Collins asked about it, whether it's on hold or completely dead. And let's just say the president was not in a good mood as it relates to her or CNN.
People like you have abused our people so badly. The fake news like CNN, like the New York Times, and like others have abused our people. Wait a minute, be quiet. Have abused our people so badly, and you should be ashamed of yourself. You used to be a conservative. She was a conservative from Alabama, can you believe it? But CNN, in particular CNN, does such false reporting. But now they have new ownership, so maybe it'll straighten it out. I doubt it. But it's hard to straighten garbage out. But CNN has abused, and others have abused so badly. People, these are people that are great people that were destroyed. Their families have been destroyed. Many suicides. They committed suicide. People that went there with love. They went there with love. When I made that speech early in the day, tremendous crowd. I hate to say, because they'll say, oh, I was wrong on the number, but I believe it's the largest crowd I've ever spoken to by twice. The biggest crowd, I think, bigger than the inaugurations, bigger than anything. And there was so much love and friendship. It was the most amazing thing. People were crying. They were like, wait a minute, let me finish. And those people have been abused by you and by others and by the politicians, by the Democrats. They're dumb people. They want to have open borders. They want to have transgender mutilization of your children. They want to have men playing in women's sports. They want to have high taxes. They turned down, they fought us on the tax bill, and they fought us because they want people to pay high taxes because they're crazy. There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with you. It's a shame. Yeah, go ahead.
And so there you have it. The president was not in the mood to deal with Caitlin Collins of CNN. And there are days like that, folks. It's happened to me. It's happened to other journalists covering politicians. Let's open up the phone line to 800-848-9222. So one of the questions that I have, what do you make of Jill Biden? Right, Jill Biden, the former first lady. She's out there pushing her book. And you have to listen carefully to this in order to hear it. But she was at an event for the 92nd Street Y in New York City last night, interviewed by Whoopi Goldberg. And President Biden was there sitting in the front row. And he stands up unexpectedly and gets a mic and starts, or at least you could hear him at least, and then they come over to him later with a mic, and starts talking. Listen carefully to this, and you'll hear the odd question that he asked her something about who do you love the most, and you had the former first lady trying to get away from it. You had everybody trying to get away from it. Take a listen to this again, but you have to listen carefully.
Oh, Joe has a question. Like you couldn't ask it later?
Who do you love most in the whole world?
Whoopi.
So the question was what the president said, the former president, who do you love the most in the whole world? I guess he just wanted her to say him. And she kind of kiddingly, sarcastically said Whoopi Goldberg. I don't know. I don't know. Part of me wants to say that should the president be out in public events like this, the former president, or is it time to slow down? I mean, I just don't know. But to think about the fact that he wanted another 4 years in the White House, it's really, 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 really scary. Really scary. And so a bit later, I'll let you hear what Stephen A. Smith has to say about Jill Biden. But let me go to Simon, line 1 in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Simon? Good morning.
Evening, yes. What's on my mind? Yeah, Trump mocked Mamdani about giving out free stuff. And we know free stuff it's the same thing, but it's more than the free stuff. He wants to give, basically, when we were in this mayor, 30% of your value went down. Everyone's houses, the property taxes, and all the stuff, what they want to do. It's much more than free stuff. He's making everyone's life miserable.
Okay, but wait, Simon, I agree with you, but there's no way in heck that you said property values went down 30%. That's not possible.
The property, people, right away when you buy a house, because they might push that tax through, right, that 30%. If someone has a $5 million house, right away.
But that's only on millionaires if it's a second property. But so that's kind of misleading what you're saying. But I get your gist. Go ahead.
I think it's a lot. It's everything put together. The man is, the anti-Semitism and everything, and it's like one thing's leading to another. And look what's going on the train today. You saw what happened, and all the crimes and everything else. I think when a leader doesn't take hand in himself and take hand in the city, everything falls apart. It's captain of the ship. Imagine I had a ship, and I'm the captain. I say everyone can do whatever they want, and hell breaks loose. It doesn't work. You need to have law and order. It has to be someone who's going to love everybody. And the people are fighting. And once the higher ups are killing each other, for sure. Look what's going on in America. It's in every city, in every state, and I have never seen America like this. And the world's watching us, and we're supposed to be an example for the whole world. It's incredible.
Right, you're 1,000% correct about that, Simon. Thank you for the call and from Brooklyn. Folks, it is time for a break. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
Almonte's Key Food, proudly serving communities throughout Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island for over 30 years. When you shop Key Food, you'll always find fresh products, great weekly specials, and exceptional personalized service. Visit at any of their Key Food stores at 8235 153rd Avenue, Lindenwood, New York, 935 Rosedale Road, Valley Stream, New York, and 6620 Avenue U, Brooklyn, New York.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And let's go right back to the telephones. Line 1, Teddy in Yonkers. Good morning, Teddy. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. I've come to the conclusion, and you're going to like what I'm going to say. even though I've been a Democrat all my life and I voted for Republicans, there is crazy and then there is lunacy. It's reached the point now where I'm reading about these Democratic candidates that are being nominated and what they're saying, the vile that comes out of their mouths. I can't vote for most Democrats anymore, and I'm really upset with Schumer for him keeping his mouth shut this whole period of time, especially with that guy, that senator nominee in Plattner, I think that's his name, in Maine. And he doesn't say a word. He's lost all credibility in my eye. That doesn't mean, Dominic, that I agree with many of the Republicans. I like Lawler from Rockland County. I think I would vote for him anytime. Okay? A number of them. But there are a number of Republicans that I can't take. But on the whole, I could see myself voting for Republicans, or Alan Dershowitz, his wife became an independent. She left the Democratic Party. Now, I don't know really what that means if you're an independent. Does that mean, well, I'm not determining what side I'm going to vote for? It could be a Democrat. It could be a Republican. I don't know what that means, but I have an idea.
It means that you're a free thinker, you're a free agency, basically.
Okay.
You have no allegiance to either party. Your allegiance is to yourself and to your own belief system. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Okay, that's that's fine. Let me ask you this, Dominic. All I hear from, I know you support Trump, and I'm supporting him on the war. But Dominic, it's 100 times we hear, and I hear this from people in my building that are Republicans, and I hear it all the time. We're close. They want a deal. They want a deal. Dominic, we've heard this. I heard General Kane on the Rita Cosby and John Catsimatidis show today. He's saying that there should be a 30-day deadline given to Iran right now. 30 days, and either put up or we go in. I agree with him, but you can't have this leeway and this, we're close, and they want a deal, and I won't.
Okay, but Teddy, all right, but wait, Teddy.
Okay, all right.
Is it really that simple as quote unquote we just go in? What about the broader implications of China and Russia? How do you just make it so simplistic that the U.S. just goes in and that's the end of the story?
Well, Dominic, you bring up a good point, and I'm not an expert on this. So what do you say, Dominic? What do you say to General King, who knows a lot more than you and I?
What I'm going to say you're not going to like, Teddy. What I'm going to say is that what I always say, President Trump is playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. If this was easy, all these other presidents would not have punted on this problem. Obama would not have done what he did, releasing all of that money to Iran, right, to try and buy them off. I'm betting on Trump on this one, and we'll just see how it plays out. You got the final 10 seconds here, Teddy. Go ahead.
No, it's good talking to you. I enjoy it.
Well, fantastic, Teddy. Thank you for the great call. I hope your family is well. Folks, it is time for a break. The number to reach me, 800-848-9222.
Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And let's see here. Let me try and get in some more of your calls before we continue on. The criticism of Jill Biden, Jill, the former First Lady, pushing a book. And what's wrong these days with the Democrat Party, right? Rahm Emanuel, remember him? He was Obama's first chief of staff, former mayor of Chicago. Well, he's pretty much being honest about the Democrats have a big problem. Let's go to line one, Rob in Maryland. Rob, good morning. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. Just two quick comments I wanted to talk to you about. What do you think is going on with this the fraud that was happening in Minnesota?
Okay, so wait a second, Rob. So what exactly are you asking me?
Well, it's like it kind of fell by the wayside here.
No. Rob. I mean, Rob, do we think that somebody just waves a magic wand and poof, and here comes the indictments? I mean, we do want, this is not Hollywood. These things have got to be investigated. We do understand that, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So what do you mean it fell by the wayside? They just one lady just got 40 years in prison. One of the ringleaders. They've just uncovered, I think, 90 billion in waste. It's an ongoing situation. What makes you think that it's over?
Yeah, no, I just haven't heard anything about it in a little bit.
Right, but it takes time, Rob. This is not a movie. You've got to investigate it. I know you want it done now, right now, but life is not like that. What was your second point?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Now with this voting, the counting that's they keep counting the votes there, the voting, the mail-in ballots that are coming in California.
Yes.
Now, what if this changes? It truly changes the outcome for these guys. Hilton and the other guy. And what do you think? Are they going to be able to do anything about it?
I'm going to reserve judgment until I see what happens. I'm not big on conspiracies. I think I know exactly where you're going with this. I'm going to reserve judgment until I see what happens. What are your fears, Rob, before I move on?
Well, I think that this Karen Bass and these other ones, I think they kind of think they got it in the bag, because they, you know what I mean? That's what I think, because of the corruption.
Well, she was the first place finisher, correct?
Yeah, but right, that's true. But I just can't believe that people, after, what happened, those houses burned down and
right.
She was away on vacation. I can't believe that.
Well, she wasn't on vacation. I don't know where you're getting your information from.
Or she was out of the country or whatever.
Right, she was out of the country in Africa, representing the Biden administration. Now, you could say it essentially amounts to vacation, but technically she was representing the president of the United States at the swearing in of one of these African leaders. Rob, it really shouldn't surprise you or anybody else. Or me. In these Democrat areas, it does not matter. And see, this is why I take a variety of calls, so that people can hear every side, because we think, you, I, and the people that listen to this program, we know we're right on the issues and so on. But what we don't understand is if you're in an area where there's a lot of Democrats, they just don't see the world the way that we do. They don't. And they're going to vote the way that they see it. And frankly, they don't care what we think. Rob, thank you for the great call. Let's go to Steve, line 2, Saddle River. Steve, what's on your mind?
Hey, sir, I'm going to get your opinion on this, because this is something that bothers me, and something that I have seen in the last 8 years since I've been paying attention. I'm a former native Californian that moved to New Jersey in 1994, and I was naive to voter fraud and all the weird things that would happen. I just thought all votes were legitimate. But this trickle effect that's going on in California right now with the governor's race and the mayor's race, I just feel they're going to do the same thing they did, in my opinion, what they did with Biden, where they just kind of magically come up with a bunch of votes and go, here it is. And I want to get your opinion on that.
I'm not a conspiracy person, Steve. I understand what you're saying. There are some people that this is an issue that's red meat. Certain hosts, they know exactly what you want to hear. Conspiracy, it's going to be stolen. I'm not one of those guys. I'm just not. Let's wait and see what happens. Now, maybe your concern will be proven correct. And again, there are certain hosts that you just hit the button for them to give you 5 minutes of red meat it's gonna be stolen, but I'm just not one of those guys, and I'm sorry, but let's see what happens. I hear you. Do you really believe in your heart of hearts that's what's going to happen?
Yes, I believe in my heart based on what has happened in the past. However, I don't know that it will happen, but I think it could happen, and it would happen without full exposure. Now, if it does happen with Hilton, whether it does happen with a young man running for mayor, and I worked for the city of Los Angeles 34 years ago, I believe that there's so much exposure to fraud right now. There's going to be pushback, Dominic. We're not going to take it. It's going to be you're fraudulent. It's going to get hammered. And that's what that's where we're going.
Let's just focus on the mayor's race for a second. In a Democrat city, and I want him to do well. Do you really think he's going to win in a Democrat city?
Well, one of the things my minor in school was I was a statistics minor, and just based on my quick analogy on his trajectory, Dominic, he is winning. If he does 5 more months in the current trajectory, based on what we've seen so far in the mayor's race, not the governor's race, he's going to win. He's going to win.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I can look at this. I can look at this a number of ways. With the other candidates out of the race, I would say he has a better shot. But I would say based on institutional looking at the election, she's going to win. I don't want her to win. But if I had, let me put it to you this way. If I had to bet on a pony right now in that race in L.A., Mayor Bass is headed to re-election. If I had to bet right now.
Okay, that's cool. But Dominic, I was going to tell you and just get your opinion on this. That used to be true. But here's the thing. The Hispanic vote is flipped. It's now going with this dude. So it's going to go with Hilton, too. That changes the trajectory big time.
Well, we'll see. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that we're going to have to wait and see. Steve, thank you for the call from Saddle River. I understand your concerns, and I understand you did a good job of articulating your case. Before I go back to the next call, I want you folks to hear this, right? So this is Stephen A. Smith. And, Jill Biden, she's out there, and she's telling us the truth, nothing but the truth. But when her husband was running, it was the exact opposite. And that's exactly the point that Stephen A. Smith is making right here.
You are the former First Lady of the United States. Your husband at the time is the President of the United States. He is clearly of lesser capacity than he once was. He does not have all his faculties in order. It is June 27th of 2024. At no time do you see a presidential debate between a Republican and a Democrat, an incumbent versus somebody aspiring to capture the presidency. And a debate takes place in June. It's usually September and beyond after the national conventions for the Democratic and the Republican parties. But that's not what happened this June 27th in 2024. Oh, no. Joe Biden was put there on center stage. And you had commentators literally say on national television, he looked like an elderly patient in a nursing home waiting for his applesauce to be fed to him. And this woman, his wife, the former First Lady, goes out there in front of the microphones with the cameras working and say, you were wonderful. You answered all the questions. Really? Really? And then now it's almost 2 years later, and what does she do? With a book to sell, she admits she thought he had a stroke. He was so awful. He was so bad that night. He was so unlike himself. She thought he actually had a stroke. So in other words, with gubernatorial races set to come about, with mayoral races coming about, with the midterms coming about, you're going to go out there on center stage and admit on behalf of the Democratic Party that you and the rest of them were lying through their teeth. And you think that's going to help y'all win. What am I missing? What am I missing? This kind of nonsense is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff that's got to be eradicated.
And Stephen A., it is nonsense, and that's the modern-day Democrat Party, and their politics are even worse. I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex, the lovely DMS, noting the New York Knicks' big win in the finals tonight, stating here on Twitter, on X, the Freedom Tower changed their lights, of course, the colors of the New York Knicks. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Dominic Carter here with you. Joe, line 4, Ozone Park. Joe, what's going on? What's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, love your show. I was going to comment on the Bidens, but I couldn't say it anything better than with Stephen A. Smith, the clip he just played. I was just he just summed it up just how I felt.
And so, does it make your stomach turn what the former First Lady's doing right now, or you just accept it as modern day Democrat politics?
No, absolutely. She thinks we're all stupid. It's ridiculous.
Right. And she comes across with the niceness and so on. Well, Joe, thank you for the great call. Let's go to Greg, line 1, Michigan. Good morning, Greg. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic, Mr. Positive. Oh, I like that you brought my man up, Stephen A. Smith. He knows his stuff. I want him to run for president. And we talk regularly about that, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to lose all the money that he's making now, and he's happy what he's doing.
Okay, Greg,
yeah.
Can you focus?
Yes. With the hire of Bill Pulte, you got to understand, he's from Michigan, Pulte Homes. Do you honestly think that is a good hire for the position that he was hired in? Do you honestly think that Bill Pulte...
Wait, listen, yes. Greg, I can respect it more. Stop asking me these rhetorical questions. Just state your opinion. Obviously, you don't agree with it. Don't formulate it like you're asking me a question, because you already know the answer to the question you're posing. What's wrong with the president? Yes, he doesn't have experience in terms of national security. Yes, he'd be in charge of 18 intelligence agencies. But presidents and mayors, they bring on novice people with no experience, a novice, all the time. What's wrong with it?
Wait, so you think that you should bring on somebody...
you're still asking me a question. Can you just make a statement?
What's wrong with it? Well,
why don't you just answer the question?
Okay. You're dealing with people's lives. You don't want someone that's inexperienced to deal with Dominic Carter's beautiful children or your nieces and nephews' lives. No.
Okay, all right. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking. Let me give you one example.
What you're saying is true.
Okay, let me give you one example of what I'm talking about. The New York City the police commissioner of New York City, right? Her name is Jessica Tisch, right?
Right.
She was the sanitation commissioner with no experience for the most part. I think she did some intelligence.
Then it's wrong. Dominic,
okay, but she's doing a great job. So based on your logic, unless you have experience in that field, no president should ever appoint you to that job. Is that what you're really saying, Greg?
Yes, I am. Maybe it's people that work with her that are making the decisions. No experience, and you think you're pure lucky. You're just lucky. You want people behind you that are brilliant, that will help you, that will make you formulate an opinion.
So who says he's not brilliant? Who says he's not brilliant?
Oh, Dominic, come on now. Come on.
So because he doesn't have any experience in intelligence, I'm supposed to just dismiss him? I believe the country voted overwhelmingly for President Trump, and that means the decisions that he makes. I got to take a break, Greg. Thank you for the call. Okay. We're going to do exactly that. When we come back, we're going to go to Sherman in Manhattan. Stay with us. And to Manhattan we go. Sherman. Good morning, Sherman. Where you been?
Good morning. Just dealing with life itself and respecting boundaries and wanting to hear some of the callers call in. I attempt to keep my ego as small as possible. I want to say this. that last caller, I called in specifically because, of him. I'm tired of these grown men that have the personality of 15-year-old kids, like he's a groupie of Stephen Smith. I called to listen to the Dominic Carter show. You're being very gracious, and I want to overemphasize, you're being really nice playing Stephen A. Smith. I guarantee he doesn't have the balls, and balls is not a curse word, to play your clips on his show. So some of these people should call in. Right. Some of these people should call in and thank you for being so secure and having a more credible, more relevant show. You're an actual journalist. And I guarantee you Stephen A. Smith gets all that stuff written for him. Having said that, let me move on. My point is, I'm not surprised at all with Jill Biden. With all due respect, and I'm going to say this because I don't want to offend any of the women out there, this is the over-feminization of society. You have some women come out, and that's how it is. She comes out with that soft voice, and she wants to try to act like a nice person. Her husband did serious damage to this country. They should both be brought up on charges. She shouldn't escape either because a marriage is a team business thing. And so I'm not moved by her coming out with her book and trying to all of a sudden now want to take some responsibility. Nonsense. She knew what was going on from the get-go.
And so you believe straight up, Sherman, that she just wanted to hold on to the power?
Yes, of course. It's intoxicating. She's a phony. I would never call her a doctor. She comes across a phony. I don't watch that show, The View, but I looked at clips just to see her on it. She's so phony. She's preaching to the choir and trying to act like, oh, my goodness, my husband. Nonsense. Her husband messed this country up. It is unspeakable what he did, allowing all these mostly male men in the country that are violent, rapists, and killers, and a couple of people that want to be here legit.
And you're correct about that. Again, I haven't talked to you in a while. What do you make of our new mayor, Mamdani?
He is. Wow, man. This is me being seriously real with you. He is. I think that it should be we were living in the real world. It should be half his and half Cuomo's. That would, or it should be half his and half Dominic Carter. Mr. Carter, I'm gonna divert and say you should be getting ready to run for mayor. You can beat Mamdani, with all due respect.
Oh, I know I can beat him.
Right, and would really put the nail in the guy in the red berets coffin figuratively, because he is the reason Mamdani is there. I hope and wish Mamdani becomes the greatest mayor we've had in this city. But he is there because Curtis Sliwa is delusional, and I'm being polite. If I was at a bar or talking to you on a corner when we cross the light, I would use some other words that are way more salty. He's delusional to think a white Republican thinks he could win in this mostly of color Democrat. Now, if Mamdani was white and a Democrat and he's running against her, maybe it might be close, but he still would have lost.
Well, Mr. Sliwa has already said he's running again, and Mamdani just the other day, in passing on the Israeli Day Parade, said he's running again. So I guess they're already trying to stack up the 1-2 punch. You have the final word, Sherman.
Thank you again for this outstanding show, and you stop being so nice and giving that guy Stephen A. Smith so much time on your outstanding show.
Well, thank you, and I do appreciate that you noticed that, because I am very secure myself. It wouldn't be the other way around with him playing me,
right.
because he doesn't cover politics, and frankly, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But he's a sports guy. But you're very observant, Sherman, and I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the call. Folks, Dominic Carter here with you. I will be back at 3 p.m. Eastern. 3 p.m. Eastern. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Roger Stone here. Your dollars are losing ground, but gold isn't. American Sovereign Bullion helps you protect your wealth through real, tangible assets. Through their nationwide wholesaler network, you get some of the best pricing on gold and silver delivered straight to your door. Since 1912, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to prove its strength. So call 844-272-2428. That's 844-272-2428. Or visit dyingdollar.com to request your free gold and silver guide. That's dyingdollar.com.